Everyone assumes Gen Z is dominating the AI revolution because they grew up with iPads in their hands. But the data just dropped, and it proves the exact opposite is happening right now. The generation currently crushing the AI game isn't the digital natives you expect. It's actually the millennials who are leaving everyone else in the dust. And I don't mean they're just using it more often. I mean they are actually better at it. According to a massive 2025 study by McKinsey, 62% of millennials report high AI expertise compared to just 50% of Gen Z. Think about the implications of that number for a second. The group that supposedly has technology hardwired into their DNA is falling behind the group that remembers life before the internet. But here is where the story gets really interesting. This gap isn't happening because millennials are smarter or work harder. It's happening because of a specific, invisible skill set that nobody talks about. And once you see what this skill is, you realize that age has absolutely nothing to do with it. Here is the reality regarding the digital native trap. We have conflated being tech-savvy with being tech-productive for way too long. Gen Z grew up in a world where technology was designed to be frictionless. Apps work like magic, interfaces are intuitive, and consumption is effortless. But AI isn't an app you consume, it is a raw engine you have to direct. Navigating a frictionless interface requires zero friction handling skills. But getting a large language model to output complex code or strategy requires managing massive amounts of friction. This is why digital intuition is actually backfiring. If you expect the machine to just know what you want because that's how TikTok works, you will fail at AI. The users winning right now aren't the ones waiting for the algorithm to feed them. They are the ones grabbing the algorithm by the throat and telling it exactly what to do. And it turns out, growing up with buggy Windows 95 computers taught millennials something valuable. It taught them that computers are dumb tools that need precise, logical instructions to function. This mindset shift changes everything about how you interact with intelligence. Let's look at what I call the application gap. The data from Pimment's Intelligence shows that 52% of millennials use AI specifically for work tasks. Compare that to just 34% of Gen Z. This reveals a fundamental difference in how these generations view the tool itself. For many digital natives, AI is a novelty, a toy, or a way to hack a homework assignment. It is treated as a parlor trick or a content generator. But for the winning group, AI is being treated like a force multiplier for complex logistics. They aren't asking ChatGPT to write a funny poem. They are asking it to restructure a messy dataset into a clean JSON format. They are using it to automate the boring parts of a job they already understand deeply. And that distinction is critical. You cannot automate a job you don't understand. You cannot leverage AI to skip the basics if you don't know what the basics look like. This is why the entry-level advantage is actually an illusion. If you use AI to bypass learning the fundamental skills of your industry, you remain trapped at the novice level. But if you use AI to execute the fundamentals faster, you accelerate into mastery. Millennials are using AI to speed up work they already know how to do, while many younger users are using AI to do work they never learned how to do. That difference compounds every single day into a massive expertise canyon. Here is the most shocking insight that flips the entire industry narrative on its head. Prompt engineering is dead. Context engineering has replaced it. For the last 2 years, everyone screamed that prompting was the skill of the future. They told you to memorize magic words and cheat codes to get the best results. But as the models get smarter, the magic words matter less and less. What matters now is the context you can provide the model. And context comes from experience, not technical fluency. A 20-year-old can type faster, but a 35-year-old knows exactly what business constraints matter for the project. The AI doesn't need you to be a wizard, it needs you to be a manager. It needs you to spot the hallucinations, correct the nuance, and guide the output toward a valuable business outcome. This is why McKinsey found that 90% of millennials are comfortable using AI at work. They aren't anxious because they view the AI as a junior intern they need to manage. Meanwhile, 41% of Gen Z report feeling anxious about the technology. That anxiety comes from fearing the tool knows more than you do. When you have domain expertise, you stop fearing the AI and start commanding it. The real AI skill isn't knowing how to talk to the robot, it is knowing what is worth talking about in the first place. The comfort paradox. Common sense tells us that younger people are more adaptable to change, but the data paints a very different picture when it comes to artificial intelligence. The anxiety statistics I just mentioned point to a deeper structural issue. When your entire career is ahead of you, a tool that automates work looks like a threat to your existence. It looks like the thing that is going to steal your entry-level job. But when you are established in your career, that same tool looks like the thing that will finally let you go home on time. This emotional framing dictates your learning curve. Fear creates hesitation, utility creates addiction. The millennials aren't winning because they are brave pioneers. They are winning because they are tired, and they want the robot to do the boring stuff. Necessity drives adoption faster than curiosity ever could. If you are using AI because you think it's cool, you will stop when the novelty wears off. If you are using AI because it saves you 10 hours of spreadsheet misery a week, you will never stop. That is the secret engine behind the 62% expertise figure. It is pragmatic, selfish, ruthless utility. Let's decode the 10,000-hour head start. This is the unfair advantage that nobody likes to acknowledge. We often pretend the internet leveled the playing field and erased the value of experience. But AI has actually increased the value of experience, not decreased it. Think about writing code with Copilot or Cursor. If you don't know how code is supposed to be structured, you can't tell when the AI is leading you off a cliff. You accept the first draft because you don't have the taste to judge the quality. But someone with 10 years of experience looks at the AI output and instantly spots the security vulnerability. They use the AI to type, but they use their experience to think. This dynamic applies to writing, legal analysis, marketing, and design. The AI generates the average, and only the expert knows how to push it to the exceptional. This is why the middle management layer is actually thriving with these tools. They have enough experience to direct the outcome, but enough work on their plate to need the help. So if you are young and feeling behind, what do? You have to stop trying to compete on tech skills and start competing on domain understanding. Stop trying to be the best prompter and start trying to be the best editor. Learn the principles of your industry so deeply that you can catch the AI making mistakes. That is how you close the gap. Why the future belongs to the hybrids. But here is where this whole generational war falls apart. The data points to a trend, but it doesn't determine your destiny. There is a subgroup of people who are breaking this entire model. I call them the hybrids. These are the Gen Z users who adopt the pragmatic mindset of the millennials, and the millennials who maintain the playful curiosity of Gen Z. When you combine high domain expertise with high adaptability, you become unstoppable. The future doesn't belong to the young or the old. It belongs to the people who can shift seamlessly between doing the work and automating the work. The most dangerous person in the economy right now is the 22-year-old who understands business logistics like a 40-year-old. Or the 40-year-old who experiments with new models like a 22-year-old. The goal isn't to pick a side in the generational debate. The goal is to steal the best traits from both sides. Take the millennial focus on utility and combine it with the Gen Z speed of adoption. Let's bring this down to a practical reality you can use today. You need to audit how you are actually using these tools right now. Are you treating AI like a consumer product or a production asset? If you open ChatGPT without a clear business outcome in mind, you are playing, not working. The 62% Club treats their AI session like a focused meeting with a colleague. They have an agenda, they provide context, and they demand a specific result. This shift from exploration to execution is the single biggest lever you can pull. It doesn't matter what year you were born, it matters how you respect the tool. The moment you stop being impressed by the magic and start demanding value from the machine is the moment you win. Don't be a fan of the technology, be a boss of the technology. The narrative that you missed the boat because you aren't a digital native is false. And the narrative that you are automatically safe because you are young is also false. The playing field is jagged, but it is open. The winners are simply the ones who decided to stop watching the wave and learned how to surf it. It is about application, not age. It is about results, not hype. You have the tools in front of you right now. The only question left is whether you are going to play with them or build with them. If you want to stay ahead of the curve as this landscape shifts, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next breakdown. And I want to know, do you use AI more for fun or for actual work? Drop a comment below and let me know your ratio.